Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a Terror Dog Slayer guide for old school Runescape and my endless adventure to make as many Slayer guides and just guides as possible, so hopefully you enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like on top of that. Got plenty of links you can check out in the description down below if you'd like to support me further and check me out in other places, would appreciate it greatly. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the guide. So to start with Terror Dogs, should you kill them? In my opinion, it's a yes. They're a quick task. Now keep in mind they're a quick task if you have the teleport to be able to get to them through the Slayer ring. If you don't have that, you will have to run through the maze, which is not going to be fun. Beyond that, they are decent XP as well. They don't have great drops, but the XP and the quick task make them worthwhile in my opinion, so I would do them. For the requirements, the first one to even be able to get here in the first place is the lair of Tarn. Razorlord? I've never really said that word until now, but I think I did a good job. Beyond that, 40 Slayer is the only thing that you're going to need. High defense would be nice, but not needed. Terror Dogs are weak to everything. This guy's going to be covering melee setups though, because they attack with a melee based style and their max hits in 11, so they hit very high, thus you can't really come here with range or mage, and the room's very open, so it's tough. Overall, I'll just be showing melee setups here, and I would recommend you go with melee as well. As far as what you can expect, hard clues are dropped at a 1 in 128 right here, and the overall GP per kill is about 500 GP in terms of stuff you would pick up. Nothing too crazy though. You don't need to bring like an herb sack or high alch runes or anything, because the task is pretty quick and you're not going to be getting so many drops to the point at which you have no inventory space. For the melee options here, we have 3 different setups: a low, medium, and high level setup there at the bottom. All of the items are listed if you'd like to take a further peek at any of them there. As far as the weapons go, you can basically use whatever you'd like. It really doesn't matter. Whatever melee weapon that you prefer, I would just come here with that and you'll be good to go. Essentially, all we're looking for is some really good melee DPS and also some good melee defense. So here is a situation where I would just go with Barrow's armor plates instead of bringing a torso or something like that, for example, because the torso would be nice for the DPS, but given that you're going to lose a lot of defense bonuses, not really worth it here. We're going to have to make our way to the abandoned mine. As far as the best way to get there, that is the Slayer ring. This teleports you directly to Tarn's lair. This can be unlocked with 75 crafting and the ability through a Slayer unlock. You could also buy one from the Slayer Master, which honestly I never recommend, but if you wanted to keep one in your bank just for this task alone, I honestly think it's worth it. If you're not using that option, you're going to have to run through the maze with me here momentarily. The second best option to get here is the Moritania Legs 3. This requires the Moritania Hard Diary, so most people probably aren't going to be bringing that. The third option is the Fairy Ring code BIP that teleports you to the northwest of the map pictured. From there, just go ahead and take the agility shortcut and run south. And then finally, the Morton teleport location. Everyone has access to this. You can either buy a teleport scroll, which is kind of pricey from the Grand Exchange, or you could just use the minigame teleport in your sidebar. So one way or another, we're going to have to make our way on over here. If you have a Slayer ring, just go ahead and teleport and head directly to Tarn's lair. I'll show where that location is here in a second. If you don't have that option, I'm going to throw a map pictured up on screen, and essentially it's going to be quite a run. So go ahead and follow me and we will start to get there. For the inventory, I just have a teleport to and a teleport away. On top of that, I have a super combat set, some stamina potions, a couple prayer potions. Honestly, I don't need them because I'm really high defense and also really good gear. But if you're a lower level, I'd recommend bringing them just for the run in, making sure you don't get dealt too much damage. And then beyond that, for food, I think Summer Pies are the best option. They heal 22 HP in total, and they are relatively cheap. Once you head on in here though, go ahead and head to the north and you'll see this kind of weird looking entry point. That is the beginning of Tarn's lair, and that's where we are going to have to start following that map that we saw before. Keep in mind that on this map, the yellow tiles are essentially traps that you want to avoid in the ground, and then the red tiles are ones that are wall-based objects that will shoot out at you or protrude towards you, and so you're going to want to avoid those things. There's quite a lot of them, and there's a lot of running to be had. That's why this is quite tedious. So once you head on in here, go ahead and run to the north and then run over here to the east. Make sure to stay out of the way of whatever traps could be potentially in the way. I would recommend throwing off your auto retaliate, as that's going to help you going forward. Go to the south here to avoid that trap, and then continue running. Stay on the north side right here, and you'll avoid that trap as well. Then stay on the west side as you start to go north here. I'm actually going to throw on my melee prayer. Earlier, they weren't really hitting me that hard, but they actually kind of messed me up here. From there, head to the east a little bit, and then continue north. in this section, in these one section hallways, there are going to be a lot of traps on the sidewall that you'll actually have to search, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. Typically there will be one on one side and then one on the other to try and mess you up. As you can see there, just took a little bit of damage. So there's a bank here that you can use if you have 100 GP. However, we kind of already have our full inventory. If you're praying melee, you probably wouldn't have taken too much damage. Once you go on into the next room, then run to the north, and in this long hallway, run on the northern side for a good bit. Once you get about halfway through, then run to the south, then continue. Once you get here, just go ahead and run to the south a good bit and enter through this passageway right here. Once you've entered this room, go ahead and walk to the north, and then you'll be placed in this room right here where you can see a staircase over here. Keep in mind the staircase, because if you fall off of any of the objects that I'll be showing here in a second, you'll have to make your way back to this staircase. So enter up that to the west hand side, and then once you're in this room, head on to the west a good bit until you see this alleyway, and then run to the north. Make sure to stay on the right hand side for the first little bit, and then after that, go on over to the left and continue upward. Here we'll see another passageway, and this is going to put you in the area where you have to deactivate this hanging log. So we're going to want to take the southern pillars all the way on over to the other side. Just go 4 across there, nothing really too much to worry about. And then once you make it on over to the other side, we're going to have to search the floor and dismantle this log that's hanging up there. So go ahead and search it, and then from there you can go back through, jump to the next pillar, and then jump to one more, and from there just go to the north through this little alley, and you'll be good to go to get on out of here. So once you've made it on over to this ledge, then we will be in this next 1x1 hallway, so just go ahead and search the first wall on the south, and then the second wall on the north, and you'll be good to go. Run a bit to the southeast, and this is going to be where it actually gets a little dicey. So these things protrude out of the wall, you're going to have to run in between them, or you get pushed off like that. I actually have no clue why I got pushed off right there, but yeah, we'll just say I was trying to exemplify what could happen. So if you get pushed off, then just make your way back to this here room again. Really, it's not too hard to make it back. If you were to get pushed off over there too, you come right on back. It's not too big of a deal. But I am going to have to go through the whole process of turning off the log and getting back up there, so I'll be back in a second. So now that we've reconvened at the wall right here, I'm gonna step on over and wait for the next one to go, step on over again, and then once we get up here to the next wall, we'll have to do the same thing. So after one little push, no. Alrighty, we've made it to the other side. Oh my goodness, that was tough. Alright, so now that we've made it to the other side, go ahead and head on into the next room. Then from there, jump on the northern pillar, continue over to the next pillar to the east, then head to the south, then to the east. Go ahead and pray mage here for these skeletons. Head to the south again, to the east again, and then finally to the east one last time, and we will be on what is essentially the final part of the maze. So now from there, go down the stairs, and once you're here, then enter in onto this passageway, and you'll be in with the terror dogs. Just as easy as you like. Now, if you were to take the Slayer Ring teleport, that would teleport you right directly here. So yeah, I definitely recommend the Slayer Ring. If you don't have it though, that is perfectly fine. Of course, you're just gonna have to do that painful maze. So from there, go ahead and drink up on your super combat potion and hop on in. There's nothing too much to worry about here. What I would say is you can position yourself within these sort of crevices, and then that will filter the terror dogs a bit better. That way you're not getting attacked by all of them at once. But go ahead and pot up, and as you can see, I mean, they don't really have high defense at all. They have pretty low HP, so overall, very doable task. Again, there's not anything really crazy here drop-wise you're gonna get. Like right there, I got 200 coins and some bones. You could bring a bone crusher if you'd like. For most people, I'd imagine having more food is probably gonna be beneficial, but if you're like a high-level account that doesn't need it, then for you, certainly can go about it that way. Within this layer though, you cannot really use prayer. I mean, you can, but as you can see here, I'm not even praying anything and my prayer points are being drained substantially. So that is one of the factors. For lower levels, I might even recommend praying on this task despite that fact, just because you might get dealt too much damage here. However, that's kind of on a person-to-person basis. I really don't know what your situation is. So if that is the case, don't feel bad spending a little extra on some some prayer potions, or maybe even canceling the task for a while. Maybe it's just not for you, but overall, I definitely think it's a task that most people should be doing, and it will aid in your Slayer adventures. But that is going to be it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the guide. If you did, make sure to leave a like. On top of that, anything you'd like to tell me or others, would love to hear in a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to subscribe. And with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and peace.